Hello, my name is Stewart Alsop, and I am going to describe a little bit more about my work as a breath worker. I offer breath work online. I offer body work in person underneath that tree right there. But a lot of people aren't in California. If you are in California, please watch my body work video. It's called What is Body Work? But today we're going to talk about breath work. What is breath work? And honestly, body work and breath work are very, very similar, except with body work, I use my hands, my elbows, my feet, my toes, my whatever tool I need in the moment to affect your body and make it more flow-like. With breath work, I use my words. And I use my words to help you find your breathing apparatus, because if you've watched the bodywork video, you will know that bodywork is essentially affecting your autonomic nervous system. So your autonomic nervous system is part of the way that you react to external stimuli and stress and everything like that. A lot of us are stressed out all the time. And so bodywork can help us to find a more adaptive stress response. And breathwork can do the same thing because our breathing is such an important element of how we regulate our nervous system. And I will try to explain a little bit more. And if none of this makes sense, please send me a message, because I love talking about this shit. Like, it's just like, it lights me up inside to help you understand that you've got this just million-year-old device process in your body that helps you to react to all the stresses you encounter in your life. Like, it's this just beautiful, beautiful system. And so you've got your brain, right? You got your brain and your spinal cord. That's your central nervous system. How does the central nervous system connect with my hands? Manipulate objects, run around, fight, dance, buck. How does your body do that? Your body does that through the autonomic nervous system. And there are two main components of your autonomic nervous system. There is the parasympathetic nervous response and the sympathetic nervous system response. Please allow for these crazy words. The parasympathetic nervous system is the rest and digest. So if you're just hanging out, lying down, watching TV, your parasympathetic nervous system is in dominance. It is the one that's really regulating your behavior. And that's really important, right? That's really important to help you deal with the more acute stresses, which bring up your sympathetic nervous system response. Right now, I'm speaking. I'm in a very sympathetic nervous system response because I'm trying to pass on excitement and give you some information about things that might potentially change your life. So what can breath work? How does this relate to breath work? Well, breath work is this beautiful tool, and we can even try it right now. If you inhale through your nose, when you inhale, you get a sympathetic nervous system response. So that means you get excited, your spine goes up, you get ready. Exhale, that's a parasympathetic nervous system response. And your heart rate actually changes as you inhale and exhale. There's this thing called heart rate variability. Very, very important metric for health. How much does your heart rate vary with your inhales and your exhales? And so there's other things as well. So there's also the diaphragm. Our diaphragm is this beautiful muscle that's attached to a lot of our abdominal organs and our core and our pelvic floor and our back and our spine and the fascia around our spine. So this diaphragm is how you breathe. When you inhale, it goes down and gives your belly a massage. And when you exhale, it comes back up. When you inhale, that's a muscular contraction. When you exhale, that's a total letting go. Although you can also train it to muscularly contract on the exhale. So when you're breathing, when you're sucking in oxygen out, because there's oxygen everywhere around me, the tree's giving us oxygen, it's taking carbon dioxide that I breathe out, giving out oxygen, breathe in, right? So that tree is helping me to survive, helping you to survive as well. So oxygen and carbon dioxide, guess what? Your blood goes to your heart, where it collects oxygen from your lungs that you're breathing in from that tree, and then spreads that to all your tissue. And there's a very, very specific ratio of oxygen to carbon dioxide in your blood. Your body will maintain that ratio at all costs. It is really, really important. What we do with breath work is we subtly change that in a positive way, but also in a stressing way. This doesn't mean that it's a total relaxation. It doesn't mean total parasympathetic nervous system response, because the sympathetic nervous system is also really important. you got to fight, you got to survive, you got to fuck. The sympathetic nervous system is also part of sex. So like you have to do these things. Life is not gonna get easier. It's gonna get more challenging. And that's that. In breath work, my particular form of breath work, a lot of hippies are just like, whatever. In my breath work, we do stressful things in order to elicit a more adaptive stress response. So it's not always super easy. I do believe that it will prepare you better for the challenges that you face in your life. So we're at 5 minutes now. Hopefully that's a good intro. I will be doing a lot more videos in order to explain everything I just said. I'm going to go into very detail and explain what the autonomic nervous system is, explain what the parasympathetic nervous system. I love this stuff. So I want to create a lot of content so that people can also love it. My main goal is to help you to understand your body, because you're in this body for like 70 years, hopefully 80 years, 90 years, 100 years, maybe even get into life extension. So you've got this body for a bit. It will degrade. As of yet, we have never found a way to find immortality, although many gurus have tried. Off in the Himalayas and stuff like that. And we can get into a philosophical discussion about what exactly immortality is. But so far, we have not found it. Your body is going to degrade. And so the practices that I've been learning, at first it was all about kind of ego and trying to compete and be very athletic so that I could kind of get that dopamine rush. But since I ran into injuries, I learned how to do long-term, like what is the 1% I can do so that that my body's going to be good for a really long time. And so that's been my goal for the last 7 years or so. I've done a lot of yoga therapeutics. Harvey Deutsch from Yoga Tree in San Francisco, also a physical therapist, one of the first physical therapists who mixed yoga with his physical therapy practice. He taught me a lot about the scientific understanding of what the body is, because it's amazing. Like I've done a lot of ancient practices. I've done a lot of pranayama. I've done a lot of practices that have been around for a really long time. But I've also gone into the scientific understanding of what our body is and what is inside our body. And the things we've discovered in the last 200 to 300 years about our body, about fascia, about connective tissue, about neurons, about glial cells, about just fast complexity inside the human body is really, really stunning. And that's the stuff I really enjoy sharing. So hopefully you enjoy this video. If you want to do a breathwork session, if you're somewhere else outside of California and want to do, or even in California and don't want to come out here, then give me, send me a message on Twitter at Stewart Alsop, III, also on Instagram at Yoga Stew, here on YouTube. I don't know if I can receive messages on YouTube, but just find me and send me a message to schedule a 15-minute breathwork session. Really easy to figure out whether it works for you or not. You can do it anywhere in the world. I am also working on an asynchronous model, a way of explaining this stuff for people in time zones that are very different from California. People in Asia and Africa, Eastern Europe. So I am working on an asynchronous model in order to help people. I love doing it. This is like my passion. Like I don't even need a vacation from this. This is what I would do even if I had billions of dollars. So please reach out to me if it's of interest.